A panel headed by Chief Justice Mjabuliseni is currently interviewing candidates who are vying for 3 vacancies in the Independent Electoral Commission. That process has kicked off. Let's listen in.
People must be made aware of the need for democracy and the effect and what effects that will have on their lives, on their future, and the future of their children. So you talk to the people in the leadership, just like in the rural area, there's a traditional leadership. If those people, starting from the tribal constable, the Induna, Ngosi, and the king, if those people are well versed with the system, with the voting system and so on, they can also volunteer the information about problems people are experiencing. And we attend to that. Because in the rural area, the gate is at the leader. If you rope the leader in, and they call the Imbizo, and send our officers or officials to address those people, they ask questions, give them credible answers, and the complaints they lodge, you work on them in such a way they see that something is happening. That will restore the confidence, because the confidence, public confidence in these things is not only what the person does. There can be, you find that the officials or the electoral staff, they do things differently. That will impact on the confidence negatively. And secondly, the perception on itself, when the people look at it and see that that kind of efficacy of the system is not there, but to bring it back, what to do must restore confidence. What you say, what you do, what you think of. That just like justice. They say justice must be done. Well, everybody can say that. But what one has to say, it must be seen to be done. It must be seen. The transparency, the efficacy, the impartiality of the system must be seen. Must not talk about it in the mouths. And people, when a person look at it, is nowhere to be seen. Let's make this practicable.
Thank you. And just lastly from my side, for record purposes, the Constitution requires that a commissioner appointed to the IEC must be a fit and proper person. Is there anything to your knowledge that you think would be a detriment to this requirement, which you would wish to declare?
There's nothing. Because if I have that thing, I would not be a judge by now. And since my days as an advocate, I didn't have anything which makes me not be a fit and proper person to be an advocate, as well as a judge. All these years I spent there, nothing has been found that I'm not a fit and proper person. I don't know now that can be talk of such a thing at this stage. To my knowledge, I don't know anything. The only thing I know is that I'm a fit and proper person, unless proved otherwise.
Thank you, Judge. That would be all from my side, CJ. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Just the previous question, not the last question of the PP, but the previous one. You explained very correctly what to do in rural areas, but you know that the majority of the voters are in urban areas and in cities and in townships. What would your contribution be in terms of that? Understanding how it's been done in the rural areas, but what about the urban areas? What will your contribution be?
Well, even in the urban areas, at the moment I'm also running some traditional dances, even in urban areas, where we gather a number of youth. So we have programs. We can utilize those occasions. You find people and the sports, various sports, soccer, soccer and any other sport. The lovers of the sport are the young people. So if you target those areas, you target schools, you target colleges and universities, they have got some activities and all those things, and see how to infuse the vision and the action of the Commission. I think that's how you can help the people, even the older community there. Well, the situation may be different, but in my situation, it's not only that I spend my time in the rural area. I'm versatile in any way, because I stay in town, I have a home in the rural area, that's where I grew up. So I'm mixing the two. I'm more stronger than anybody else. I know both worlds, how to deal with the people. So that could be my contribution.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Yeah.
Earlier on, to a response to a question about the Electoral Act, you made the point that there must be constant review of the legislation within.
Yeah.
And you've earlier on said that you will also make a contribution of it.
Yeah.
Have you identified those already, or will you, when you're there, that you'll identify and then we'll make that contribution?
Well, I have identified at least 3 of them. The first one is about, you see Section 103 and Section 103A of the Electoral Act talks about the resolution of dispute, that the person charged with the may use conciliation to resolve that objection. And those objections arise mainly from those appeals and other things, what is pertaining to what is happening at the time, and procedures, etc. So, in order to curtail an alarming rate of these disputes, these sections can be amended to allow a full-fledged alternative dispute resolution mechanism, because the person who sits there as a mediator is facilitating the discussion between the two people, and each discloses where the shoe pinches, then you know now how to resolve those things, rather than conciliation only. Because we find that this dispute, they give rise to litigation. You know, there's a lot of litigation around, and some will go forever. So you reduce the number. I don't say there'll be no litigation, there must be a litigation, but the number will be somehow reduced. And the people can reach an acceptable agreement, which is acceptable by parties. They are involved themselves and settle those problems. It's not that someone else, was the person who's there is assisting them to reach a common understanding and acceptable settlement to both parties. So if it needs be, it can go on also to arbitration, because arbitration is cheaper, education is cheaper, is fast, and satisfying the parties in the way. So if that can be attended to by means of amending the legislation, if acceptable. The second one, though this is the second one, I may or may not refer to a particular section, but look at the IEC is positioned in such a way that is policing these political parties. But when it comes to the funding, even now it's not known how that is regulated, the manner they receive the funding, and whether it now, which is said, they must not exceed the threshold. But the threshold is not known. It's only this amendment, now in Section 9 of the Amendment of 2024, saying that the President is within the discretion of the President. That is an exhausted virtue anyway. If the President, if only the President can tell what the threshold is, what about the rest of the people there who must know? It means that's still in violation of Section 32 of the Constitution. Must be amended in the way that is open to the voting society. And also that one, how the parties run their internal affairs, that must somehow legislated. Because at times they submit their constitution, and you find that later on they change the constitution. Nobody will see that it's still in accordance with what, according to the requirements. There's nobody will see that. But there must a way of dealing with those things, because firstly, is creating the credibility, the credibility and judging the integrity of these parties to the voters, because they want to make choice. I want to vote so and so on, but I don't know this so and so is doing, how he or she handles the internal affairs. But if maybe have I known, I may have a different idea. So there, I think there must be some kind of a consideration or proposal whatsoever With regard to this amendment, I've indicated this amendment is inadequate because still everything is around the president, so that it doesn't help anyway. So those are the areas so far I have indicated, I have identified in this short space of time. Maybe if you can give me 3 months, I will have a packet of them.
All right. We are nearing the end of your interview, Judge Madondo. Is there anything you wish to raise with us before we let you go?
Oh, yes. Just a little thing. That my age may disturb some other people and tend to forget and overlook the experience, the knowledge, the qualification, and the contribution I may make, that people should not be carried away by youth only, but they must be carried away by sensible judgment.
Are you in good health, if I may ask?
As you say, Mayor, Chief Justice.
All right. Well, on behalf of the panel, I wish to thank you for making yourself available for this important position. You will be advised of the results in due course. You know how it goes. But
Okay.
wishing you all the best, and thank you again.
Thank you.
You're excused.
I don't know where did I come from. That's right. I found it here. Want me to take?
All right, so these are live visuals we're beaming to you from Midrand in Gauteng. That's where a panel, which is led by Chief Justice Mandisa Maya, is interviewing candidates who are vying for 3 vacancies within the Independent Electoral Commission. We've just heard from the first candidate for the day in Deputy Judge President Mjabuliseni Madondo, who is the current Deputy Judge President, I beg your pardon, of the KwaZulu-Natal High Court. He has, I suppose, defended his own tenure over the years, saying that there isn't really a blight against his career. And very quickly, I just want to get information around some of his more notable judgments. In 2021, he actually penned the landmark judgment around the Ingonyama Trust, finding that it acted unlawfully and unconstitutionally by giving the king's subjects residential leases over the land that the king was holding in trust on their behalf. Of course, you might remember that judgment had a number of ripple effects. I think it's off the back of that particular ruling that there was even a suggestion from the monarch himself that there's some kind of interference with his own kingship in the AmaZulu royal house. So quite an important judgment there, but he's one of, I think, about 11 candidates, Judge Madondo, who is going to be put through his paces, so to speak, as the IEC tries to fill these 3 vacancies, one of which must be held, we're told, by a judge of the High Court.